Hey, it's Good Light here. This video we're going to do a transmission fluid change. I will be using the Motorcraft Unicorn Tiers. That's the XT-M5QS. I got 3 quarts because it takes like 2.1, 2.2 quarts, and when you're using a pump, you're going to lose some fluid. So you're going to probably want 3 quarts. Tools you're going to need, and just as far as the fluid, you need GL4 fluid. So this is what I'm using. You know, other GL4 fluid should work fine. Tools, you're going to need a 24 mil socket, possibly wrench. 24 mil is the same as 15/16. So if you don't have a 24 but you had a 15/16, that works. And you're going to need some jack stands and get it up in the air, preferably level. Hey, all right, we're under the car. Wow. I had to lift it up a lot higher. It's on ramps in the front and on jack stands in the back. I only got it about 13 inches high. I do apologize for the lighting. The camera is pointed from the back of the car towards the front of the car. I'm hoping that it is focused. The drain plug is right here. The fill plug is right up here. Yeah. Okay, that's the fill plug. That is a brace that is underneath the fill plug. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. I haven't decided if I'm going to pull it off. It looks like it's just 4 bolts on each side. I think I'm going to make an attempt to do it without it. I can drain it, no problem. It's when it goes back to the fill, and I can honestly fill it pretty easily this way. It's the mess that it's going to create, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start with the fill plug because I want to make sure I can get it out, and I want to see how high it is when I take that out. So I'm going to start with that. I don't think the socket's going to work, so I'm going to probably end up having to get a box-end wrench, and I'll be back. So mine was filled to the very top. This is a 19, got a little over 12,000 miles on it. No, I don't really have to change this out, but I am anyway. If you're just daily driving yours, it'll go for a long time. Fill plug's out. Now we're going to remove the 24 mil, the 15/16 fill plug, and one thing I missed that we need is a pan to catch it. Alright, well, hopefully you can see it a little bit coming out. Wear gloves so when you slam your hand into this, it doesn't cut your finger open. Yep, and there's the fluid. It was very dark gray. It looked pretty nasty, but like I said, it probably wasn't really that bad. If I can reach the plug, it is magnetic, so it's caught some, you can see it's got a good bit of shavings. Yeah, nothing big. That's no big deal. It's break-in. Alright, I went ahead, removed the brace. Yeah, it's just 4 12 mils. Moved the brace so it didn't make a mess. The way this was going, I probably would have ended up having fluid everywhere. I've just have had horrible luck with this one. Okay, torque for the drain plug is 29 to 43. I'm gonna do mine. I got mine set at 35, just in the middle of it. So the only torque specs I could find for the filler were like 18 to 29. And like I said, I can't get a torque wrench to it anyway. Be sure to check it before you torque yours. Let's see if I can actually get this on camera. I have one end of the siphon there in the filler hole. It goes down, wraps around, and it is on that end, the far end of the pump that I'm using. The end that comes off of, the hose that comes off of the end with the plunger here will go in that bottle, and then I will start pumping it. This takes 2.1, so what I'm going to actually do is crawl out from under the car, and I'm going to do 2 bottles, and then I'll come back under and do the third when I'm under here, because the first 2 shouldn't overflow it. Maybe you can see this better now that I'm out from underneath the vehicle. There's the pump wires. Honestly, I think I'm going to order a shorter pump, one that you put on the top of the can and screw on. That would probably be better, even if I had to be underneath the vehicle when I was doing it, because this is awful long and it's very inconvenient. Anyway, put this all the way down into bottom. Hope it doesn't spill. This unicorn tears, there's over 20 bucks a quart. It's outrageous, but that's why it's unicorn tears. Now, I'm going to start pumping on the pump. And I do apologize for the camera work here. It was super cramped underneath there, horrible light. Now you just start pumping. It's going to start sucking the fluid through, and I'm going to do this for 2 of the containers. Now I got fluid. I'm going to do it for 2 of the containers, and then go under for the third. So now I am laying down and I'm watching. I got the third can connected, and I'm going to be under the car watching the fill hole, and as soon as fluid starts coming out, that means I'm done. I got the pan under it to catch, but that'll mean it's done. So it shouldn't take too much of this one. As you can see, the filler hose is removed from the filler hole, and it took almost half of the third can because there's waste going through all that hose and the pump. So you're gonna lose some of that, and I just went and pumped the rest. So I capped the bottle and I went and pumped the extra that was in the pump into the pan. Now I will be putting the plug in the filler hole, and I'm just going to tighten it. I don't know what to tell you. Snug it up good. It is, again, it's like 18 to 29 is what I read, but take that with a grain of salt. And I don't have a torque. I can't get a socket on there, so I can't use a torque wrench anyway. So snug it up good, but don't over tighten it. It is just the fill plug. So was the juice worth the squeeze? So I just got back from a drive after tightening everything up, bolting everything back on and all that. And it was interesting. My transmission, I have 12,900 miles on it. It's a 19. It's a V5 transmission, I believe. And it had shifted fine prior. I just did it for the video and just to see how that other fluid would feel. Upshifts, you can feel the gear engagement more. And I believe, I don't normally drive without my music on, so take this one with a grain of salt, but it felt like, or it sounded like there was a little more gear whine, transmission whine, in like third, fourth gear while pulling. Downshifts seemed to be easier. The going from third to second was very smooth and easy to get into the gear, and even from second to first, it seemed like I could go in easier in those. So unicorn tiers, cold weather, probably a better fluid than the stock fluid. Anywhere else, I think the stock fluid is probably just as good. That's my opinion. Anyway, got any questions, comments? Please ask, and if I can't answer, maybe someone else can. And good luck with yours.